Hey everyone, Creepy here, and since it's my birthday, why don't we just chill and talk about something I care about? Godzilla X Kong: New Empire. Now this is my third time recording it, because for some reason this video does not like saving my audio while I do it. I do not know why that's happening, but it is very annoying. Anyway, let's get into the movie. The first thing I want to talk about is designs. I enjoy the designs of these monsters slash kaijus within this movie. I enjoy that it's one mammal and one reptile versus one mammal and one reptile. I think that's interesting. It's kind of like good versions versus evil versions, even though, yes, I know Shimu's not actually evil. She's just kind of controlled through pain by Scar King. I also think it's really cool that Shimu is so gigantic that she is as tall as Godzilla on all fours. That's so crazy. I also really appreciate that there's another female kaiju because there's not really enough of those in the MonsterVerse. I think we could use some more, so that's nice to have another. Something else I enjoy within this movie is the fights. The fight in Brazil, also known as the final battle, was pretty epic between all of them. The battle in Scar King's lair where he gets hit once and he's like, oh no, I gotta stop this, gotta get Shimu over here to stop Kong. That was cool. I also enjoy the fight where, honestly, it made me laugh out loud when Kong used Suku as a weapon. That was very funny. Another funny moment was when Kong socked someone in the face. That was great. Love it. Now, something interesting is that some people have been complaining about the CGI within this movie. Now, personally, it did not look bad to me at all. It looked pretty good. Although, honestly, after seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, that had the best CGI I've ever seen, I'm not gonna lie. But back to Godzilla X Kong, I usually can't tell when CGI is bad, unless the CGI is really, really bad. I'm kind of blind to CGI. It just looks normal to me, I'm not gonna lie. But I do know that some people have had issues with the CGI within this movie, and they do not believe it's the best CGI. Now, one thing that I do want to criticize for the movie is that it does not have a large amount of Godzilla. And my favorite character is Godzilla, so of course I wish there was more. Of course there should be more because it's Godzilla X Kong, but I do enjoy the time we have with Kong even though he takes up more space than Godzilla, and I do prefer Godzilla over Kong. And hopefully in the next movie we do have more Godzilla. That would be really cool. Now, something interesting is that this movie has probably the best human characters within the MonsterVerse. The only character that gives them a run for their money, in my opinion, is Samuel L. Jackson's character in Kong Skull Island. My favorite characters in the movie are Bernie and Trapper, and yes, they probably are gay for each other because who isn't? And I obviously know that the main attraction and main characters are the kaijus. So it was really interesting to see parts of this movie, for a good portion of it, just have the kaijus be there with no talking from humans. So there's no English being spoken, obviously, because let's be honest, giant monsters do not speak English. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. I will say, I like this movie so much that I watched it twice in theaters. Now that's impressive because I've only ever seen 2 movies twice in theaters. And the last movie I saw twice in theaters was The Batman. So I guess we'll see how Deadpool and Wolverine is, because I might see that twice in theaters, who knows. Anyway, something else I really enjoy is Godzilla -1. Really good movie. Made me cry. But I don't want to talk about that right now. So why don't I get my good pal, SpoderJedi, to do that instead?
Hello everyone, it's the SpoderJedi from the YouTube channel, the SpoderJedi. Big thank you to my friend Creeper for having me on this video. Look, I'll be completely honest. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan. Doesn't mean I don't like the guy. I've just never really been into his movies. So when I say that Godzilla -1 was my absolute favorite from last year, even more than Spider-Verse, mother freaking Spider-Verse, then you know it's good. One of the biggest complaints about many Godzilla movies is how the human characters don't seem to get much care or interest. Fortunately, this is not the case with this movie. Most times when Godzilla attacks a city, I don't feel much other than, oh, that's a shame. But hey, cool lizard, am I right? But in this movie, I was actually scared for them. I love Shikishima and Noriko and Akiko. I love the guys in the boat. I love that funny little neighbor lady, whose name I can't remember. They all felt so real in their emotions and bonds that I wanted them all to be safe in the end. As for the big lizard, my god, Zilla, was he terrifying. He feels like a demon straight from hell, an unstoppable force that will devastate everything in his path. The fact that there's no other monster in the movie is really what makes a conflict of the movie work for me. It's just humanity against this absolute monster that was created from our own mistakes. Legitimately, I've never been this tense in a movie theater in a long time. I think my favorite aspect of -1 is just how human it is. The movie is a tale of moving forward and finding your reason to live. It's a story of a man tortured by his guilt and PTSD, having to face off against a monster that he failed to defeat. I'm so glad I got to watch this on the big screen, because Godzilla Minus One is truly something special. Thank you to Takashi Yamazaki and the rest of the cast and crew for creating such a wonderful story. The Oscar was well deserved. Thank you for having me on, Creeper. And as I always say, stay spectacular. I also just want to point out that, like, the fact that they, like, changed the name in the re-release when they, like, did it in black and white to Godzilla minus color is just so peak. Oh my god, I love that. I love it so much.
Wow, bestie, thank you for doing that. This video took a while to come out, but it's finally here. Anyway, before we leave, I want to give a big thanks to User One Campbell for making this piece of art. That's pretty epic of you. Once again, this was a simple video. I didn't want to think too deeply about this. I may eventually make other videos defending Godzilla X Kong because I've seen a lot of bad videos on the movie, but I'll let you guys all know. Creeper out.
Socialism is when the government does stuff. And it's more socialism the more stuff it does. And if it does a real lot of stuff, it's communism.